Welcome and thank you for joining us. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Naurin. Today we have brought top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines. President Trump's new tariffs prompt over 50 nations to start trade discussions with US. Protesters across the US opposed to Trump's cuts and policies. US Attorney General says Trump likely won't serve a third term after 2029. Trump faces global criticism over plan to acquire Greenland. Severe storms in US kill 16, flash floods forecasted. Actress and singer Bette Midler sells Tesla, calls it a symbol of racism, greed and ignorance. Governor Hochul, MTA and partners launch accessibility and housing projects at Essex Crossing. UK Foreign Secretary criticizes Israel for denying entry to 2 MPs. Israel retracts its account of Gaza medic killings after video surfaces. Kiev missile attack kills 2 and injures several. Alex Ovechkin breaks NHL's all-time goals record. And Max Verstappen clinches 4th consecutive Japanese GP victory. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. Over 50 countries reached out to the White House to start trade talks after President Donald Trump announced new tariffs, officials revealed. These talks came after tariffs caused significant turmoil, with US stocks losing nearly $6 trillion in value. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed that multiple nations had begun negotiations since last Wednesday's tariff announcement. He emphasized that Trump had gained leverage in global trade. Meanwhile, Bessent downplayed fears of a recession, citing strong job growth in the US. The tariffs aimed at US imports sparked retaliatory actions from China and raised concerns of a global trade war. Economists warned the tariffs could harm US economic growth, with predictions of a 0.3% decline in GDP. The stock market continued to face uncertainty as the tariffs were set to remain in place. As tensions rise, the future of these talks and the impact on global trade remain uncertain. Thousands of anti-Trump protesters gathered in Washington, D.C. and cities across the U.S. in what organizers called the largest protest against President Trump and his ally Elon Musk. Around 1,200 rallies were planned across all 50 states plus Canada and Mexico. Over 20,000 people were expected at the National Mall in Washington. Demonstrators opposed Trump's policies on immigration, tariffs, education, and budget cuts. Protesters carried signs like Free Palestine and Ukrainian flags, while Democratic lawmakers criticized Trump on stage. Trump spent the day golfing in Florida at his Jupiter Club before returning to Mar-a-Lago. Around 400 people protested near Mar-a-Lago. In Stamford, Connecticut, elderly protesters worried about cuts to medical research and Social Security. One man feared Trump planned to dismantle the government to stay in power. Trump and Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has already cut over 200,000 federal jobs. The IRS laid off 20,000 workers last week. Outside the Social Security office in Baltimore, people demanded protection for their benefits. The White House denied plans to cut Social Security, blaming Democrats instead. Anti-Trump Americans in Europe also protested in Berlin, Paris, London, and Frankfurt. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi expressed doubt about the possibility of Donald Trump serving a third term. Bondi, a loyal Trump supporter, said that once Trump's current presidency ends in January 2029, he is probably going to be finished. This statement came after Trump hinted at the possibility of a third term despite the U.S. Constitution's two-term limit. In a March 30 interview, Trump suggested there were methods to overcome the limitation but did not provide specifics. Bondi, speaking on Fox News, acknowledged Trump's intelligence but noted that any attempt to change the Constitution to allow a third term would be a heavy lift. The 22nd Amendment, which set the two-term limit, would need to be repealed, a process requiring broad political support. While some speculated about a possible Vance-Trump ticket for 2028, legal barriers make such a scenario unlikely. The 12th Amendment prevents anyone ineligible for the presidency from running for vice president. President Trump has continued to show interest in buying Greenland, calling it important for U.S. security and global competition. In a recent speech to Congress, Trump said, "We are gonna get it one way or the other." He even refused to rule out the use of force. Greenland is part of Denmark and is mostly self-governed. Many of its 56,000 people, mostly of Inuit heritage, strongly oppose Trump's plan. Aja Chemnitz, a Greenlander and Danish parliament member, warned that joining the U.S. would destroy their language and culture. Greenland is not for sale, she said. Trump believes owning Greenland would help with Arctic military power and give access to rare earth minerals, which are important for tech products. The U.S. already has a space base in Greenland used for defense against Russian missiles. Greenlanders want independence from Denmark, not U.S. control. A recent poll showed that 85% do not want to join the U.S. Arctic expert Klaus Dodd said Trump's words made Greenland less secure, not safer. Greenlanders are open to working with the U.S., but only with respect. As Chemnitz said, it will never be for sale. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Violent storms across the central eastern United States have resulted in at least 16 deaths, officials confirmed. The National Weather Service issued a warning on Saturday about severe flash flooding in the coming days. The storms, which stretched from Arkansas to Ohio, caused widespread damage. The powerful storms produced dozens of tornadoes, damaged buildings, flooded roads, and left overturned cars in their wake. Tennessee was the hardest hit state, with authorities reporting 10 deaths in the western part of the state. In Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear confirmed 2 deaths, including that of a child swept away by floodwaters. Photos shared on social media showed destruction across multiple states, with homes destroyed, trees uprooted, power lines down, and cars overturned. The National Weather Service warned that severe widespread flash flooding is expected to continue into Sunday, posing a great risk to lives and property. In addition, 2 deaths related to the storm were reported in Missouri and 1 in Indiana, according to local authorities. The situation remains dire, with the potential for more dangerous flooding in the coming days. Bette Midler recently sold her Tesla, expressing her displeasure with the company's founder, Elon Musk. The actress and singer shared the news with her followers in an Instagram post. "What a joyful day. I sold my Tesla. No longer do I have to drive, a symbol of racism, greed, and ignorance. Life is suddenly so much better," she wrote. Midler's decision appeared to be in response to Musk's involvement in President Donald Trump's second administration. Musk, the richest man in the world, led efforts to reduce the size of federal agencies, which sparked significant criticism. Midler isn't alone in her stance. Celebrities like Sheryl Crow and Senator Mark Kelly also made headlines for getting rid of their Teslas in protest. Midler's long-standing feud with Trump dates back to 2019, when the president criticized her over a mistake in court. Governor Kathy Hochul, along with the MTA NYC Economic Development Corporation and Delancey Street Associates, announced projects to improve the Delancey STSX ST station and add mixed-income housing. The station will become fully ADA compliant with 3 elevators to ensure a step-free access, funded by proceeds from congestion pricing. The plan also includes a 99-unit mixed-income housing development at the former Essex Market site, increasing the overall Essex Crossing development to 1,100 housing units, with half being affordable. This project is set to start in 2026. The MTA's Jano Lieber expressed excitement for the accessibility upgrades, benefiting 68,000 riders daily. Local leaders, including Representative Dan Goldman and Council Member Carolina Rivera, praised the project for improving transit accessibility for seniors, families, and people with disabilities. This move is seen as vital for Lower East Side residents and is part of the city's ongoing efforts to improve public infrastructure and affordable housing. Now it's time for global updates. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy criticized Israel for denying 2 Labour MPs, Yon Young and Abdissam Mohammed, entry into the country. The MPs were rejected by Israeli authorities, who suspected them of planning to document security forces' activities and spread anti-Israel views. The 2 MPs had arrived at Ben Gurion Airport with their aides, intending to visit humanitarian aid projects in the West Bank. Lammy called the action unacceptable and expressed his concern over the treatment of British parliamentarians. He reiterated that the UK government aims to secure a ceasefire and negotiate peace in Gaza. In response, Yang and Mohammed expressed their surprise, calling it vital for MPs to witness the situation in Palestine. Meanwhile, the Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch supported Israel's decision, leading to further criticism from Lammy. This incident occurred amidst ongoing violence in Gaza and the West Bank, which has resulted in significant civilian casualties. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. The Israeli military has retracted its statement about the killing of 15 Palestinian medics in Gaza last month. Initially, Israel claimed its troops opened fire on emergency vehicles because they were advancing suspiciously without lights. However, new phone footage contradicted that claim, showing the vehicles with flashing lights and clear logos as they approached an ambulance. The video taken by a Red Crescent staffer revealed a rescue convoy moving slowly through the dark with emergency lights on. Suddenly, the vehicles came under heavy gunfire. The shooting lasted over 5 minutes with several medics and a UN worker killed. The Palestinian Red Crescent confirmed the authenticity of the footage and the video was shared with the UN Security Council. Israel stated the incident was under investigation. However, the Israeli military's explanation that they killed Hamas fighters was disputed. No evidence has been provided to link the medics to Hamas. The head of the Palestinian Red Crescent called for an independent investigation, questioning the reliability of Israel's internal probe. A missile and drone attack by Russia on Ukraine left 2 people dead and at least 7 wounded, according to Ukrainian authorities. President Vladimir Zelensky warned that Moscow is intensifying aerial bombardments. The attack, which occurred overnight, hit multiple Ukrainian regions, including Kiev, where explosions were heard and a plume of smoke rose from the city. In Kiev, 1 man was killed in Ternitsia district near the blast's epicenter. Fires broke out in several buildings, including a business center and a furniture factory. The Ukrainian Air Force reported shooting down 13 missiles and 40 drones, but 54 others caused damage in 6 regions. The missile strike came 2 days after a deadly attack on Kryvyi Rih, which killed 18 people, including 9 children. UN officials condemned Russia's use of weapons that cause widespread destruction, highlighting the disregard for civilian lives. Russia claimed it targeted military sites, including an artillery base and drone production facilities. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Alex Ovechkin has officially become the NHL's greatest goal scorer, surpassing Wayne Gretzky's record of 894 goals. Ovechkin scored his 895th goal against the New York Islanders, a milestone many believed would never be broken. Since being drafted in 2004, Ovechkin has proven himself to be an incredible player, winning the Stanley Cup in 2018 and earning numerous accolades. However, off the ice, Ovechkin's support for Russian President Vladimir Putin has sparked criticism. In 2017, he launched the Putin Team movement and openly supported the Russian leader. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Ovechkin avoided directly criticizing Putin, which drew further backlash. Despite this, Ovechkin's on-ice legacy remains undeniable. As time passes, history will decide how his political ties affect his legacy in the NHL, with his impressive goal-scoring feat likely securing his place as one of the sport's greats. Max Verstappen secured his 4th straight Japanese Grand Prix victory, holding off McLaren duo Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to win by just over a second. Verstappen's win, earned with precise laps and flawless racing, reminded everyone that he remains a top contender for his 5th consecutive world title. Despite Red Bull's car challenges with balance, Verstappen took pole position in a brilliant lap, setting the stage for a strong race. McLaren's strategy didn't work as planned when they pitted Norris at the same time as Verstappen, causing a brief side-by-side battle that left Norris off track. However, no further action was taken after a review. Verstappen held his ground, never letting his rivals get close enough to overtake. Verstappen's performance shows that the RB21 can still compete with McLaren, and his dominance at Suzuka points to a promising future. The race marked a significant achievement as Verstappen closed in on Norris in the championship standings. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. this world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 17,618.61. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 1,148.58 points or 6.12%. Tokyo stock close price is 33,780.58. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 955.35 points or 2.75%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,342.01. The Shanghai index is decreased by 8.12 points or 0.24%. Hong Kong stock close price is 22,849.81. The Hang Seng Index is decreased by 352.72 points or 1.52%. Bombay stock close price is 75,364.69. The Sensex index is decreased by 930.67 points or 1.22%. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. President Trump's new tariffs prompt over 50 nations to start trade discussions with US. Protesters across the US opposed Trump's cuts and policies. US Attorney General says Trump likely won't serve a third term after 2029. Trump faces global criticism over plan to acquire Greenland. Severe storms in US kill 16, flash floods forecasted. Actress and singer Bette Midler sells Tesla, calls it a symbol of racism, greed and ignorance. Governor Hochul, MTA and partners launch accessibility and housing projects at Essex Crossing. UK Foreign Secretary criticizes Israel for denying entry to 2 MPs. Israel retracts its account of Gaza medic killings after video surfaces. Kiev missile attack kills 2 and injures several. Alex Ovechkin breaks NHL's all-time goals record. And Max Verstappen clinches 4th consecutive Japanese GP victory. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all smart TVs and Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.